Shalom Aleichem, Nesanel Gantz.
Yitzchok Glancz.
Yitzchok Glancz. What's your company?
My company is Maven Software Solutions.
Maven Software Solutions.
That is correct. So if a company wants to develop custom software, they want to make sure they're doing it right with the right strategy and the right plan. So they need someone to really understand their business and their process, to map out how the new system should work, what features should have, and create the clear requirements to be able to give it over to the developers.
When you say you do software, you do custom software, do you base it on, let's say, Salesforce or something like that?
We're talking about custom software.
Everything you do is custom?
Yeah, most companies, 90% of companies don't need custom. There's a lot of SaaS systems out there. SaaS is called for software as a service.
Right.
You just find a system out there, you set it up, and everything is good. But there is this 10-15% of customers, of companies that have unique processes and workflows, and they need to have a custom system. It's a very expensive investment, and you need to make sure you're doing it right.
Who is your typical clientele? Is it businesses, nonprofits? What is it all?
Businesses or bigger businesses who are scaling and growing, and they want to make sure they're continuing to grow.
So how old are you, Yitzchok? How old are you?
I think 28.
Think, yeah. All right, and
that's my wife. She's
what's your wife is there?
No.
What's your background story? Tell me your panus. How did you start off as a career?
I was in Koil for 2 years, and while on Koil, I was thinking,
The answer is you say you were Koil for years. That's why no one knows how many years it is. You say I was Koil for years.
I'm a skvir, and skvir is a team that you should be in Koil for 2 years.
Okay,
so I was in Koil for 2 years,
Fine.
but while I was in Koil, I was starting to educate myself and looking around what I should do, and I loved programming.
You like computers.
I like to build stuff. I always liked that as a kid. I like to play Legos. I still like to play clicks. Shabbos afternoon, I will go out with my kids and just build stuff.
There's a huge market for toys for adults.
So I like to build things from ground up, and that makes me sipping. You know, when I build something and I see it's working, that makes me sipping. So I start looking into programming, and after 2 years, I was looking for a job. I found a job in B&H. It was the best place to start, but also the best place to end. I was there for 3 years. I gained a lot of experience, and then I opened up my own software company.
Explain that to me.
While I was in B&H, I was growing very fast. I wasn't able to catch up with my growth. And I started taking up clients, and I got so many clients already as I was still there. So I had a very good push to start my own business. So
as a start, you're a one-man show. I want to have a software company. What are you doing? Who are you talking to? What do you do?
So I started as a freelancer, they call it. Like
Obviously.
1 project, 2 projects,
Now, you're not a
hourly
freelancer.
basis.
You're an owner.
That's correct. But
you should have no employees yet. So how did you do that?
I just started my own, and word of mouth, I got new clients.
You were going to do the own programming?
I did everything my own at that time, yeah.
Really? So what was your first project you ever did?
It was an inventory system for a fulfillment center. They basically, Amazon sellers, FBA sellers, they are fulfilling the orders over there, and they need a system to keep track of inventory, a cost in the portal. That was my first system. I really appreciate that client because he gave me the push to go out and B&H and open my own company.
Let me fast forward. Today, you have employees?
I don't have employees. I totally shifted my company, I need to tell you. I used to do software development, and I learned a lot along the way, a lot of experience, successes and failures. I realized that in order to have a successful software project, it's not only about writing code.
For sure.
It's about bridging the gap between the business and developers.
And also, you can't scale. You can't scale being a
I had employees. What do you mean?
I was like, when you're a programmer to a degree, you can't scale it. Meaning
right. I
you
hire
have to hire
developers.
people, but then you have a contradiction, right?
Correct.
You want to code and you want them to code.
No, I stopped coding at that time. I built a team. I built up a team of developers.
Okay, what happened?
But I still realized.
Tell me about your failure. I want to know how you messed up and rebranded.
I messed up a lot. What do you mean?
I want to hear that.
I messed up with a few projects that I quoted a low price.
You underquoted, obviously.
Underquoted, and that's what happens a lot in software projects because the reason
because of the unknown.
Yes. It's more than unknown. Most developers, they like to jump in the right code. They don't do the full analysis to really understand their business and getting the clear requirements. Once you have that, it's much easier to have an estimated price.
Interesting.
Basically, so what I did in my company, I took the analogy of construction actually. You know, when you want to build a house, you go first to the architect, he creates the blueprints, and then you take that blueprint and you go to the contractor. So in software, I did the same. So a client came to me, he wants a project, okay, let's do planning. Separate project, we'll do planning, we'll create requirements, we'll sit through together, we'll ask them a lot of questions. Why do you need this, why do you need that, what is the features to work? And once we have that, then we quote it for the development. It was a game changer. The project was successful since then, on time, on budget, it was great.
But you still shut it down. Let's hear what happened.
So what happens is, I got so many good feedback from clients. Other developers, other designers, UX designers started asking me that I should do the requirements for them. They're very good developers, but they need someone to do the requirements. They don't understand the business. They know how to write code, but they don't understand the business processes and workflows. They don't talk the business language. They're a very technical person. They like to sit at night and code. So I basically saw the need of this. I was a good developer, but I saw there's a gap, and I saw I can fill this gap. And it's something that I like a lot. So I basically shifted my company about 2 years ago to do software consulting. And it's just mind-boggling.
Wow.
It works out.
Do you oversee projects yourself or no? Like, if I come to you right now, hi Yitzchok, I want to develop an app, whatever. Yeah, you gonna help me or no?
Sure, I can help you.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna help you, sit down with you, understand what your needs are.
Okay, but you're gonna help me find developers and
Yes,
oversee the app?
so I have a full list of partners that I deal with. So I'm going to give you a few recommendations, and I will set you up with the
But
right
that's not
developer.
your niche. Your niche is basically helping actual developers with their business strategy if someone comes to them. Am I correct?
The business owners. My
The business
client are
owners.
the business owners.
Right. I mean, it's not, your client's generally not the guy who comes to you and says develop an app. Correct?
Again?
Your clientele is generally not the person who wants to do the development, right? If I have a company and I want software for my business, you're not the guy I'm necessarily going to call. I'm going to call the company, they're going to call you. Is that correct?
Okay, so a lot of companies out there, they are skipping this step, and that's why I need to do a lot of education and awareness to business owners that they need to do it right, they need to do right planning. I know a lot of stories, I hear everyday stories of companies that developed hundreds and millions of dollars in
the
software.
So the answer to my question is really both. You'll deal with.
You come to me, I will help you with the strategy, with the plan. The first question I will ask you is, maybe you don't need custom software. As I told you, most companies don't need, and they still go into that.
Most of your clients are companies who want to develop the software, or they're the actual developers themselves. Who are your clients mostly?
My client is always the client, but I am getting a lot of business from developers. Once a developer uses my service and he sees the change, for a developer also it's a big advantage.
No,
he has a clear plan what he needs to do.
I understood originally that you're actually helping developers. I'm understanding
My
now.
client is still the target. He's still the client.
So let's take myself for example. So on the side I run a place called Yad La'achim. Right? We have a program that we use. I'm not going to mention it now. They're a CRM program. It's still super complicated. Let's say we want to get a new one, right? Okay. Maybe do housing access. So I might say they do custom. They made it custom. So I'm going to call you, hey Yitzchok, talk to me. I'm not so happy. Maybe you can fix it up. What would you say?
Have a call together. We'll see what your needs really are. If I see you need a new system, for example, I give you a proposal. You know how much it will cost, a fixed price, fixed timeline to do the planning, to do the requirements.
And you'll deal with the developer to get it done.
First, we'll do the planning.
After that.
After the planning, I will recommend you to the developer. If you have your own
Are
developer,
you out at that point usually?
Yes, but I'm available for questions.
How do you charge your prices? How do you price yourself?
Fixed price. So because I do this all day, after a 30-minute conversation with the client, I can scope the project. There is certain cases where I can't scope. It's too big, too unknown. I go hourly. I have an hourly rate, but most of the time I go.
So I find it very interesting because I see you a lot at expos. So you're not an idiot. You clearly come in because people are using your business. They're not going to do it, right? That's an amazing thing. So, and I like the fact that you're a one-man show. I think it speaks to so many people who are literally trying to make their own.
There is a certain people think that in order for them to look successful, they need to build a business. I know a lot of people who are one-man band shows who make more money than a person who has 20 employees.
Yeah, again,
because
the obvious difficulty in one person is quote unquote the day-to-day work, right? The nitty-gritty, right? So that's hard. You obviously have to deal with that on your own. It's part of your thing, but you might be better than other people. But as a one-man person, coming to a show like OJBA, is this your first year here?
It's not my first year exhibiting at OJBA.
And how has it been the response so far? People
amazing. I have so many leads already. A lot of work to do now to follow up on everyone.
That's amazing. So how many clients have you serviced over the last year, if you mind me asking?
The last year? Let's say about 10 or 15.
That's a big job, right? Is there an average price you can go back what you charge a client? Just give me a range. It's not $5, it's not $5 million. How does it range?
No, 10, 15K.
That's a significant thing, right? You're dealing with different people, different jobs. So I love the fact that a guy like you're here. I love the guy who's hustling, who's coming, right?
He's not.
And by the way, the fact that you had a company. This is to me an amazing thing. This is the chizuk I like hearing from people. You know, when I write my column in Ami, and when I do panels in general, the number one thing I want people to recognize is that there's other people struggling just like you. Okay? So you had a company, for lack of a term, quote unquote, call it that it failed. And then you restart again. Hey, that didn't work for me, but I still learned some stuff. Here's what I can do, right?
I will not consider my old company as a failure.
I agree.
That's not why
it's a bad term. I'm saying it shut down, right? Whatever, you weren't able to make it. And you pivoted. You say, hey, it's too hard for me. There's a lot of nitty-gritty, but I have an expertise in figuring out what actually can work for a person. Right?
It's a little bit different.
Please clarify.
It's not that business didn't go well. Okay. That business go very well.
By the way, we can delete this from the video. Totally fine.
I don't have no problem.
Yeah,
no problem saying everything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it's more than I saw the new niche. I saw a new gap in the market.
It is interesting.
If it's sure, much easier for me because it's easier to be a one-man band.
There's a big fear. There's a big fear in being a one-man show because you don't know where it's coming. You don't know where the next paycheck is coming from.
I was very afraid to do it.
Someone has to hire you, you know, and
I got a broek van mijn Rebbe.
Who's your Rebbe? Beautiful. No, I'm curious. When you get up in the morning,
I actually got a lot of offers from different big companies
to work for them,
to be their CTO.
For sure.
I got an offer for $500,000 salary a year. like this.
Wow.
Without having the hassle of finding new customers. But I still said no, because there's different lifestyle that I want to build. My goal is not to build a big company and
what would be your advice?
To make millions of dollars. My goal is to...
What would be your advice? Because your niche is taking a project and stepping back. There's a lot of talk, whether it's EOS today, all these different ideas about systems, right, in business. You're obviously someone who arranges things neatly. Tell me about what advice you give to another company, whatever they're dealing with.
What is the question?
I'm going to tell you. How to strategize a project to do it correctly? What's the correct approach to doing a project correctly without start going at it?
Okay, so the way I would do it is first take a step back and look at the big picture. Understand what is the goals of the business, what are you trying to accomplish on a very big, high level. Once we understand and everyone is aligned that this is the goal the business wants to go, then we start to zoom in and we start to look at different...
I want to ask you to a specific company. What advice would you give to a company who's actually trying to do something? How would you tell them to do it? I have a business now, I want to do a project. What do I do?
It depends on the project. Each project is different. Start working on the project.
What does it mean to step back? What does it mean to step back and look at something from a different approach?
Step back means look at the big picture of their all technology needs, of the software needs. Understand every company has different systems. There's a customer relational management system, project management system, billing system, right? Everything needs to be together.
Tell me one project you've done in the last year that was amazing and they're loving.
Medical billing company, for example. I was never in medical billing. I never know all those terms. I started working with that company. They have their own developers, but they hired me to do the business analysis and the requirements. It was a game changer.
Because happy?
Very happy. He asked me in the middle of working on the project, he asked me, how many years are you in medical billing?
What's the client? What's the client? I'll give him a shout.
He doesn't want to say the name.
He doesn't want to say. All right. But Yitzchok, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was amazing. I'm sorry. That was good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.